देख सकती
Another thing is a block area for women who will not be able to pray in this front area. The women's there's a white tarp in front of these walls. So you're behind the second. Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter. You don't need to see this area. Cross between my home and my mimbar, my pulpit, is a garden from the gardens of paradise. What does it mean? This physically is going to be a piece of paradise. It's
Yes.
perfect. It's raised. Okay? So just like in paradise, granted, any dua that you make here is accepted.
इंशाल्लाह.
That's why it's special. That's why it takes, nearly up hours trying to refresh, and finally get it. But this is why it's also permitted for women who are even in their menses to go into the masjid. And by the way, the view that I take is they can go in the masjid anyway. Okay? To go in the masjid and to make dua and to recite Quran and to do dhikr. And you cannot pray. You cannot pray. Women in their menses, they cannot pray. But the most important thing here is dua. So hence why you also pray here, because prayer is also blessed. But while you're in your sujood, you can also make dua. The Prophet ﷺ said that the closest a servant can be to their Lord is in sujood, so increasing dua at that time, in any language. The Hanafis, they say, the current Hanafis, they say that you can only make dua in any language in the sunnah or nafil. But in the fard prayer, it has to be in Arabic. Right? I don't hold this view. The view of the majority of scholars and the early Hanafis was that you can make dua in any language in sujood. Vast majority. Hence why this is also something I encourage you all. Make dua in any language you want in your sujood. There's also a way to cheat kind of. Say, some people they ask me, Sheikh, some people doing sujood for a very long time. What are they doing? They're making dua. How many times do you say Subhan Rabbil A'la? 100 times? They're making dua. So that's one. This is the mihrab I told you about. This was also prayed sunnah. There's of course much history here that if I spend another 3 hours, we won't be finished. But I will mark something. The green, the golden crowns that you see on every single pillar is how tall the masjid was. If you want to know how essentially that looked like, go underneath the mu'adhin's platform, and you can actually imagine. So if you pray here, you are essentially exactly what it's called the pillar of Aisha because the Prophet said that there's a pillar that if you were to know its virtue, people draw lottery for it. The draw is accepted. Just in this particular place, so in essence, it was Aisha who informed us which pillar it was, hence it was named after. It's called the pillar of Aisha. It's the second pillar in the first row. You understand? So if you go to the row, they try to pray here. Also, women ask, why can't we go through the door of Salam to give salam to the Prophet, right? The answer is, I don't know. Welcome to Salam. Women could give salam from the door of Salam and in the Rawda, alongside men, wherever they are, all the way until the 90s and the 2000s. So there was no barrier, physical barrier between men and women in this masjid. And this hyper understanding of gender segregation and what we call as free mixing is completely foreign to Islam and the Sunnah of the Prophet. And I'm Asian, so I'm going to say this Asian understanding of it is completely wrong. It is not right. When you're hyper segregated in such a way where people never interact with, never see each other, this is all not from the Prophet. The Prophet and the Sahaba, they did business. They essentially even were traders. Men and women interacted normally in the masjid as well. But they had their own door. They essentially respected each other. They would make way for each other. But they interacted. And they had shared spaces. Anyone who says the following, they were more righteous than us, we cannot have the same standards, you are saying that Allah sent us a messenger that we can't follow him. Because the standards he gave is different from our standards. And this is wrong idea and understanding. Okay? So I want you to make this very clear. These understandings are even followed by ulama and scholars, and they're wrong. So, we try to cater, we try to do our best, of course. And also, some women don't want to be in shared spaces. We cater to them as well. No problem. But our masajid must remove barriers. That's how it should be. This was the masjid of the Prophet until when? Until 1995. Until the Saudis put the barriers there were absolutely no barriers. I've asked over dozen or half a dozen women who've lived here from their young age, how did you all play and pray in the Masjid al-Aqsa? We went around and we did whatever we wanted. I said, how did you all pray? Just like the Prophet ﷺ said, that women start the salah from the back, and women start the lines from the back, men start the lines from the front, they leave a space. I said, what about Taraweeh when it gets extremely packed? They said that they would have a sitara, a cloth about halfway, half our size to the waist, so that there could be just some separation. That's it. Masjid al-Aqsa, Masjid al-Haram, Masjid al-Nabawi never had barriers between men and women. And Masjid al-Aqsa to this day doesn't. Right? So this is something very, very, very important that I wanted to share with you all, because we need to deconstruct our colonization. We need to deconstruct what people have taught us and ask, what was the Prophet ﷺ actually teaching? And that is extremely important, inshallah ta'ala, so that we can revive a society which is a prophetic society. Not a society that was based on 13th century Baghdad, or 13th century Afghanistan, or 13th century Hind, and then try to revive the same kind of laws which existed at that time for certain reasons. But this was not the prophetic example. Okay? So, I can go on and give you specific examples, but I think I'll suffice with that to show. Alright? There's then the next section. People used to say pray in the green carpet. Guess what? All of the carpet's green now. I think they did that on purpose to confuse people. But anyway, you have to pray before the minbar. Anywhere, pray anywhere. But try to pray close and to the left as much as you can. One other thing, because I forgot to mention this. The whole point was salam to the Prophet. So women say, why can't we give salam to the Prophet? You can. When you go to the Rawdah, it's actually better for you to give salam there than where the men are. Why? Because if you stand to the left here, okay, this is closer to the Prophet ﷺ than where the men are. So you give, and number two, all of the Sahaba, they used to give salam to the Prophet ﷺ from the Rawdah. You understand? So it's better for you. So when you come to the Rawdah, you pray, you go to the left, face diagonally like this, and face the grave of the Prophet ﷺ and say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ya Habibullah. What do you want to say? I love you, alhamdulillah, whatever you want to say. But you can't do one thing. You cannot ask the Prophet for anything. Yeah. It is haram. You cannot say, do this for me, do it. Nothing. You can talk to the Prophet ﷺ, but you may not ask the Prophet for anything. Right? You want to make dua, then you turn and you make dua. Oh Allah, gather me with him, grant me shafa'ah, grant me children by my love to you, my love to the Prophet ﷺ, whatever. But you cannot ask the Prophet ﷺ for anything. Is that understood? Yeah. Okay. Now,